Okay, welcome to this Sirocco live stream with myself, Niklas Wikström, and my colleague here, Mats Dahl. Today is actually, I guess, episode 2 or part 2 of our little series around operational excellence and the operational model that we discussed in a previous episode. Will be links in the description, so you can look at that one if you missed us that time. And we're streaming live to, let's see, our YouTube channel, Facebook Live, and also LinkedIn. So we will see if you have any questions or any comments, you can make them in those platforms, and we should see them in our stream here, and we'll try to respond to any questions if they come up. But yeah, Mats, I guess if you wanted to recap a little bit maybe what we talked about last time, and then we can move on from there maybe.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Niklas. And hello, everybody. Nice to be here again. Last time we talked about, as Niklas said, about something we call a target operating model or an operating model, which means that when we implement solutions like CRM solutions or similar, we need to have also an operating model in place where we have a structured way of working from governance, people and organization, the processes as such, which we are supporting with our new application or service, and also have a way to measure the effects of the platform as such, and also how to work with technology. And you know, in this digital times, it's all about the cloud, but many companies need also to have on-premise solutions based on security matters and all those kind of things. So we would like to have a holistic view when we talk about our solutions, not just talking about implementing a CRM solution. So that was what we talked about, and we will recapitulate a little bit about that as well further in this live stream as well. And we will walk you through the first part of it, which is about how to be innovative and how to explore opportunities that resides within our colleagues' minds and heads when they work, but also our customers and everybody else that has thoughts about how to improve the work processes they are working in, and to make that real and use that capability when we create new things. So that is the topic for today. Everybody is an innovator. What do you think about that, Niklas?
Yes, because I think last time we knew it might feel a little bit abstract for everyone. We were just kind of talking of a model on a very high level. So it's nice today. It's more of a practical. It's more practical today, so to speak. It's more kind of some more tangible things and more of a way how to do it, and we'll talk through that. So I'm looking forward to that, and maybe it will feel a little bit more useful for people to understand how we can move in this initial kind of design and ideation stage, and how you get people involved and what tools are possible to use, etc. So
yeah, so maybe we should start then and continue to discuss things based on that model and everything else that we would like to share. So if you could
sure,
look to so that my screen
up here. Yeah,
great. I will do like this. So today, if my screen is shown on the screen, for you who look into it, today we are going to work with this whiteboard. I would say it's an application or a service called Mural, which is a virtual whiteboard with virtual post-it notes, and you create your own whiteboard based on what topic you would like to workshop about. And what you can see here on the screen is about how to use a common model from a strategizer in this case concerning business model canvas and the value proposition canvas, and how to use that in a simple way, working together, independent if you are on site together in the same conference room, or if you are spread all around the world, or if you have the mix of it. You can use this as a very simple way to really collaborate and to really gain the insights that you can gain based on a workshop. And I will start to recapitulate a bit about what we talked about last time, as we did in the starting of this live stream. We talked about what we call a 5-step model, which means that everything within an organization or a business needs to be tied together. You need to have a clear business strategy, of course, but you also need to have a digital transformation strategy, not just talking about digitalization and all the good things that comes out of it. You need to have also a very coherent transformation strategy as well, connected to your business strategy. And also to be able to become a data-driven organization for real, not just talking about it, not just having a lot of information, but scattered around, not connected to each other, not be able to use external data in combination with your own one. And also to realize the greatness of partnerships. And that is the way we must work today and going forward. Because when we have standardized way of working, we have a lot of data that we need to integrate with other kinds of data sets. You also need to be aware of how you could collaborate with other external and internal partners to gain that insights. And then everything to be able to realize all the strategies, the data-driven way of working, and using the partnerships. You need to have an operating model to be able to do these things in an operational excellent way. So that is what we call the 5-step model as such. And the operating model, as you may recall from last time, is looking like this from our perspective. It's a five-part model which connects governance with people and organization, with the process or processes that we are looking to improve, and also how to measure that process by performance insights and data, and based on the technology platform. It could be cloud first or on-prem. It could be some of the CRM platforms or other kind of technology, which also is connected to the digital strategy, of course. And the process as such is, from left to right, it's about ideas, exploration, explore those ideas and innovate based on the best ideas. Do the design and requirements, specifications, and then do the actual implementation or development of the solution. Think about the change management directly, what kind of changes this will bring to the ones that will use this solution. It could be customers, it could be internal, and also how to go to market if you are creating a value proposition that would be like a managed service for your clients, how to express this in a marketing way. And then also when everything is done and finalized and ready, you need to have a service management or an application management or to be able to deliver constantly on this, and then have this continuous exploration, innovation, development, and how to apply this in a real life. So this is a way to show how we should work or how we could work and what we need to think about in all aspects. And today we are going to focus on and give you some examples and a tip about how to use modern tools to drive exploration and innovation. But before we go into that, maybe Niklas, do you have any comments based on this or your experiences based on this?
No, I think what we will look at today and what we did talk about last time as well is that the important, in a way, the important thing isn't what you find. Of course, it is important, but it's to find that the model works, and the model is kind of a continuous improvement. So, of course, the first time around, when we come to today's exercise, the first time it might feel a bit, you're not very familiar with either the tool we're using, or you're not very familiar with, formulating ideas or requirements or issues or pains or whatever you have in the most useful way. But then the second time around and the third time around, I think people will get better and better, and the organization will be able to move quicker through some of these stages, I guess.
Yes, I agree, definitely. And I think both when it comes to exploration innovation, I agree definitely what you say, but also in the next steps, which we will talk about the coming live streams about how to drive an effective, efficient, I would say, development and implementation process and so on. So it's the same kind of thing, thought that you need to have a model where you constantly improve yourself and your team, how we collaborate as such. So if we look into what we are going to talk about today, more specifically, it's about value propositions. It's a lot of text here, I know that, but a value proposition is something that we talk about to our customers, or a value proposition to enhance or to make a process more efficient internally. So it's all about a promise about value. If you look at this specific text here, so it's about how to talk about things that we can improve, and how we have a solution, or what kind of solution we would like to have to improve that process and to be more efficient. And you know, connected to business strategy, it's as Kaplan Norton says, strategy is based on a differentiated customer value proposition. Satisfying customers is the source of sustainable value creation. So everything is about providing and telling the story about the value that we can bring to our customers or to our colleagues in our own organization. So how then to create, you know, in the starting point of the process, how to create the value proposition? Well, let's first of all talk about the business model canvas, as all of you may have heard about or knows a lot about. But you need to have this value proposition and the offering that you would like to have to your customers, or how to use a tool in what way that will bring value. And in that sense, we have this business model canvas. It's a 9-field model where you have the value propositions as such in the middle. And then you have concerning your customers, you have that on the right-hand side. And you have the ways how you create the relationship with the customers, and also how you deliver things through channels towards your customers. And you have your revenue streams down on the right-hand side. And you also have the way how to deliver this, you know, with key resources, key activities, key partners, and the cost for it. So this is also a very good model to start and think about what are our aims, what kind of role do we play, and how would we create value for our customers and for ourselves as well. So the value proposition and the customer segmentations is important part of this model. And if I change to another slide or picture within this mural application which we are working with right now, is the value proposition canvas. And as you can see up on the top of the picture, you can see that now we are talking about the actual value proposition, but also the customer side of it. And this is where we start our creation, you know, to use this specific model. And the starting point is about customer jobs, or our own jobs or processes that we are working. What are we actually doing every day, and how do we create values for our customers? Everything that connects to a process is defined here. And then we all know that in all processes there are things that could be better, pains. And we also think about how we could use new tools and application to gain the value that we're looking for. So this is the starting point. And then if we have a solution, or if we have something that we could offer our customers, we go to the left-hand side and think about how we could relieve the pains, how we could create gains based on a product or a service or something that we would like to go to the market with, or as maybe an IT department, how we could create, or sales department, how we could help our colleagues to be better in their processes on the right-hand side. So this is basically the thing. And when we do the workshop internally or together with customers, this is the way to do it. To start with the customer side and look at the jobs, so the pains and gains, as I said. Then workshop about the value that we can create, and then find the product and market fit. how these two things work together, and then test this on the market or in the organization. Do you think that this is the situation, and this is what good looks like? And would it be interesting for you to look further into this and to understand more how we could create things together? So it's a quite simple model to understand, and when we start to work with it, we obviously start with the personas. What kind of persons or roles do we try to address, a value proposition to, or what roles and persons would we like to help in their daily work to be more efficient or create more things, and whatever it could be. So it could be whoever. From a CRM perspective, it could be from a customer perspective. It could be from organizational perspectives. It could be from a product and product owner and product manager perspective, or whatever. So it's important to understand more what persons, what groups are we supporting, and then start the actual workshopping using the virtual post-it notes, and to in a team of 4 to 10 people to create different kind of insights about the jobs, the pains and gains, and then pain relievers and so on. And I would say that it may look simple, and it is, and that's the good thing of it. But the actual process, when you start to write these post-it notes during 3-4 minutes, and then you discuss it, and you take the next step and next step, you create a lot of innovation power from everybody that is involved in the process. And it's really interesting to see how things grow, and that you have a really good time when you do this, actually. So in this sense, it is, I would say, it is the ones that are in the processes, or knows a lot of the processes, and knows what pains and gains they are looking for to relieve or to gain, that actually would be in this kind of a workshop. And when you have done this part, then you go down and you do you prioritize the different parts, the customer jobs, the pain, severity, the gains, relevance, to find the most important parts where you start to create your value proposition story, and then also the starting point of the actual realization from a technology perspective. So this is the way we work, and the outcome of this will be a very well defined value proposition, and based on the business model canvas, we also can say, well, to realize this, we need these resources, these costs. We think these are the personas of the customer, and this is the way we would like to address them, and this is the revenue of it. And then you have the business case. What kind of investments do we need? What kind of revenues or lower cost will we gain by this? And then it's easier to tell the management that this is what we would like to do, this is the investment we would like to do, and this is the result. And then it's easier for an executive manager or executive team to make the decisions, to go further into to realize the investment as such. So Niklas, now I've talked a lot about the actual process as such. Maybe some reflections from your side, from your perspective.
No, I think the one question is, and you kind of answered it, but is, at what level in an organization you do this? Like you say, the people on the factory floor, so to speak, are the people that in some ways have these pains and gains closest to them. And then I know in Mural, you can then, once everyone's had 5-10 minutes to add their post-it notes, so to speak, you can also start a voting session so that people vote on, say that you can vote for 5 pains and 5 gains, let's say. So you can kind of get from the group as such, you can get the prioritized items. And then you can take it from there, and you can add them into, this model. So you don't have, because if you have 50 things to improve, it's quite hard to do that in one go. So you can kind of try to prioritize them. And then I guess, like we said earlier, then when you run the same exercise, but maybe on a slightly different theme or a slightly maybe a different part of your business model canvas. Maybe you look at your revenue streams in the same way. What are the ideas, any new ideas, any ways we could better utilize an existing revenue stream, etc. I guess you can apply the same type of workshop or process around lots of different themes. And then the facilitator, if it's an internal for a organization, or in our case, often when we come as external facilitators, becomes the facilitator's job to try to package this in some understandable way to the people who are going to make the decisions, I guess. So that's when you can try to quantify things or try to put numbers on them. I have a recent customer example where there was lots of discussion, but very little quantified, values, and it was hard for the decision makers or for the committee to understand which of these things should make it into some sort of backlog of items to then design and implement, etc., in the roadmap. So the business users, so to speak, needed a lot of guidance to help. It's quite tricky for, if you call them business people or the business users, can be quite hard to properly state your requirements so that an IT or a technical delivery team can understand what to actually build or change or add. So it's also a good exercise to bring those two worlds closer together. And then in a workshop like this, I guess you would kind of want someone with some sort of management perspective maybe in the workshop, or maybe you don't, because you want everyone to be able to say whatever they want in a way. But then I know as well in Mural, if you do this remotely, you can also you can make people anonymous on it, so you don't know who's exactly said what, etc. If that's, and that can sound like a silly thing, but it's actually, I've seen it being very useful, because normally if you're in a group, if you're in the same room, you tend to get that the same people talk all the time and the same people kind of keep quiet. So sometimes I've seen a lot of studies now, especially during COVID, that remote workshops for something like this can actually sometimes work better, because you are just behind your screen and you can put your things there without feeling embarrassed or I don't really want to say this, or maybe I don't know. You can get some added benefits sometimes with the remote aspect of this as well. But I think it's a super useful way to do it, and the more times you do it, the easier it gets, and the more the easier it gets for the people in the workshop. I've seen examples where you use some sort of icebreaker exercise first, just to get people used to it, like what was I saw one? Which Michael Douglas face are you today? And you chose one, you can vote, and you can kind of make it fun to get people just to understand how to do it or what you're kind of doing, and then you apply it to the real topics, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that what you're telling us now, it's all about how to open up for the innovative thoughts, and no ideas are wrong. Every idea is good, because in the process you also get the team to understand how the other team members how they are thinking, and that also creates a new opportunity to present things, because you know how other people think, so that you get your message through, and you get the team going as one team. And I think that is also very good, a way of doing it. And I agree, as you said, that you need to find the teams or combine a couple of people into teams, so that no one is the one that, as you said, always the one that talks, but so that you get every other people to talk, because everywhere there is a lot of good ideas, but people may not think it's good ideas. But we would like people to colleagues and customers to really bring out everything, and then we could prioritize and think what we should start from. So I think it's a combination of building a culture, but also to create the good things, and especially if you have a partnership with customers and with other vendors and so on. If you have a way of working, it's easier to create things, and you start to rely on each other and understand each other, and then you make greater and better solutions and enhancements and so on, I think. So that's so I agree definitely on that. Anything else, Niklas, about this as such?
No, I think it's pretty clear. I guess the kind of tool, but I guess we could wrap up by how does this then tie into the next stage, I guess, or the next phase of the operating model, which we'll talk about in more detail in our next stream. So maybe we can go into that a little bit, just how this translates then into the design and requirements and development phase, maybe.
Yes, let's do that. So today we have been talking about this starting point, the ideas and how to use them in exploration innovation. Really be open to whatever ideas and thoughts that resides within a team or organization, and step by step build up the backlog, the things that we would like to realize as a service, as a digital service. And how we prioritize that backlog going forward. So when we have, a clearance from the executive level that take the next step, we look into the how to make a better design of a solution, maybe a minimal viable product to test first, and then continuously build up the pipeline with more things and more specific requirements and so on. And then have the decision about going full engagement to develop this based on the backlog, and then we come into how to drive this based on agile methodologies like SAFe and so on. So what we would do the next live stream, we will talk more about these two parts, how to be efficient when it comes to requirements, what you should think about, and also how to really drive a kind of operational excellence when you constantly develop more features and functions in your current solution or in a new one, and how you constantly go live with those solutions, maybe every third week or so, and then have a really creative and good service management. That will be another live stream for that one, and how we connect back to the things we talked about today based on everyday work, I would say, and to constantly improve the things we are doing. So that is the next time is about design requirements and development and implementation, I would say, Niklas.
Yeah, no, I think it sounds good to get that in more kind of real terms as well, and how practically to go about things. So I think today's been useful, I think, to show people how you could look at the exploration and innovation stage, and the message as well that everyone should and could be a part of this innovation process. It's not just one or two people or someone interviewing everyone else. To do this in a kind of an open workshop type session or sessions, I think is a much more effective way to do it. And sometimes you can see some people, the first time they do it, they might not contribute that much, but once they get used to it, they kind of get the hang of it, and then it becomes easier, and then they can start doing it. And you can also, you could do breakout sessions where people innovate around specific themes that might be more specific to their particular role or function within the company, and then you can bring it all back together. So it's just a tool that I think people can just start using it. And I mean, these visuals we've used here, mural is an example of a whiteboard exercise. You could do this just on a whiteboard in your office. You don't need to use any digital tools per se. So I think any organization can just try it with a small group to start and see if this is something that could work to go forward. It doesn't need to be a big fancy digital workshop. It's just a way of gathering ideas, really. I think.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, and the most important part also is to celebrate when you have done something good, and I would like to celebrate a little bit now as well.
Yeah, so that function. Yeah. Okay.
It also always makes me happy.
That's good. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. We will, if you need anything else from myself or from Mats, you can get in touch with us. We will leave our contact details in the description of this recording as well. And yes, I think that's it from us for today.
It is. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
See you soon.